episode 411 with me, Justin House, on Friday the 10th. Excuse me. Friday the 10th of September. Of course, tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of September the 11th. He says, lisping away with my toothless current face. Excuse me. Got off to a good start. I trust you're all well. I'm going to talk today about time travelling, or should I say the notion of travelling back in time as a proposal. What would you do if you literally had one of these and that, other than your wits, it's just a lighter stream tonight insofar as, let's offer up a theory, pure hypothesis, pure nonsense. Let's make it fun, let's make it nonsensical. We've all seen those photos online. In fact, one such post that I did use today was the very familiar, often used black and white shot of what appears to be a 1950s crowd, 1940s, 50s crowd, with a modern looking bloke in it with shades and haircut, and looks a bit like a surfer dude, sticking out, juxtaposing, like a sore thumb in a crowd of sort of pie hat wearing JFK era looking civilians. Excuse me, try some water. I was worried my voice might go tonight. It's been playing up recently, but anyway, I shall press on. Like I say, it's 10th of September. For those of you old enough to remember, I appreciate the times we're in. Very unusual times, because it's just, I'm not a great age, but I'm not a young bloke either. I will be turning 50 in January, and as I approach the great stage of half a century, I can't help but retrospectively look back at the various decades, of which I've been gifted 5 thus far. I'm sorry about this. Yeah, and I just wonder. I read somewhere the other day, someone made a comment about something I posted, and it was just along the lines of, I miss the 80s so much I could weep. And it's literally a random person. I've noticed I've got more comments on YouTube, so I'm like I say, I will posit tonight. What would you do if you, like I say, you literally had the clothes on your back and a fully charged smartphone, but you miraculously went back, let's say, the obvious proposal would be the war, wouldn't it? The obvious one would be, it's or even pre-war, really, it's 1930s Germany. You've just found a young Adolf in a local, like sort of, I got this image like a Bavarian setting, village, cobblestone street, those various stories we've all heard of a young Adolf Hitler, 1933, giving quite, powerful, provocative and emotive speeches, not to the frenzied level that he did when he was, in his later years. But what would you do if you went back and you had, like I say, your current knowledge? That's the thing. It's a little bit like Back to the Future too, when we see Michael J. Fox go back to the 50s. And is that what it's called? A grandfather paradox? I didn't know that. That's interesting. Hello to you, sir. Nice to see you. That's interesting. Grandfather paradox. Yeah, I guess that makes sense, doesn't it? I didn't know that. Grandfather paradox. So that's cool. Thank you, man. Thank you. Oh gosh, this has got to go. So I've got a right frog in my throat. What a ridiculous expression. Um, come on, Justin. Yeah, it was. I don't know what really prompted me to do it, but you know, I probably spend an unhealthy amount of time on YouTube. Well, I unequivocally do. Yeah, I'm probably doing some serious scrolling action on YouTube 2 to 4 hours a day. But, oh, is that the mic giving a bit of... Hang on. I'm not using GarageBand tonight, I've just literally plugged it in. I'm using my Beats pill. Anyway, it's not... It's I'm in an effort to make my audio sound a little bit better. I mean, the flat, it's pretty boring, but the flat I live in is not acoustically great, as you can tell. But I put the fan away tonight, and I would like the fan on me to keep me cool, so apologies for sweating, but if it makes the audio sound a little bit better, then great. Yeah, I was looking at YouTube. It's always fun. I mean, one of the most abused, really sort of bastardized aspects of time travel is how many films have got it wrong. I mean, I remember being, what would I have been, 13, 1985? Yeah, that figures. Remember it really, visceral memory. I was actually very sick. I had really bad flu, and you know, although at 13, 14, 15 we all did it, you skive off school, excuse me, and I was genuinely not well. My mum went to the local video store. These are the days, you know, where, well, I shouldn't presume, but looking back, I think I was a little bit spoiled in so much as, you know, you get a day off school and then you say to your mum, you know, some people's mums were obviously full-time working, but my mum was around, she was a house mum, and I was like, oh mum, you know, I'm really, really poorly mum. You know, like I say, I would have been 13 because I was born in 72, so that makes it 1985, which I think is the year the original Terminator came out, Jim Cameron's original. You know, so I still think it's a great film, although arguably T2, like Godfather 2, is better. There's a small handful of sequels that you could argue where the sequel did surpass or trump the original. You know, i.e., we all know Empire Strikes Back is superior to A New Hope. You know, it's the best Star Wars movie by none. We all know that Godfather 2 is better than Godfather. We all know that T2 is probably better than Terminator, and we also all know that Aliens, excuse me, is better than Alien. So save time. Oh, now is that Ethan Hawke? Is that Ethan Hawke with the briefcase and the? I think it is. That's a great one. Yes, thank you. Excuse me. That brilliant, well done, sir. Because that's gosh, you know, that's made me hang on, let me look that up. That's made me, Predestination movie, Ethan Hawke.
Predestination
Yes.
is a 2015 film directed by Michael Spearig, starring Sarah Snook, Ethan Hawke, and Noah Taylor.
Noah Taylor, of course. 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that we should really care what Rotten Tomatoes says, especially these days. Nowadays, if the Rotten Tomatoes, no, in fact, if the critics pan it, we know we'll like it, because the politically correct critics are like, oh, that's a terrible film, don't go and watch it. That means we'll like it. Yeah, oh gosh. Yes, that's a good film. Premise. At his last assignment, a temporal agent is tasked to travel back in time and prevent a bomb attack in New York in 1975. The hunt, however, turns out to be beyond the bounds of possibility. Really good one, mate. Well done. I didn't know that. Adapted from All You Zombies. Is that a short novel? Excuse me. All You Zombies, the basis for the movie Predestination. Interesting. 5 short stories. Yeah. Very sort of Stephen King-esque. There's a lot of, I remember reading Skeleton Crew. No, Skeleton Key. No, Skeleton Crew. in Paris, the one trip I had to Paris, I was about 14, 15, I was hugely into Stephen King. I've never not been into Stephen King, but of course we all know very touch and go with Steve King adaptations. You know, a lot of, you know, anyone can name that many Stephen King wonderful books that went to dog shit in terms of, you know, straight to VHS adaptation. That's interesting you mentioned Predestination. What a great film, what a great film. I need to re-watch that because I know I've got it. I've got about 578, 600 movies, all downloaded actually, just, well, they're stuck in Google Movies and Amazon Prime. Interesting. Adapted, but I mean, the basic, look, I remember watching, what was the one with Bruce Willis and Emily Blunt, and Emily Blunt's had a couple of brush-ins with time travel. She did Looper. Now, that was full of promise. But yeah, Looper, right? But did you find I liked the look of it? I liked the feel. You know, I mean, that was actually rather gritty. That was rather, you know, going back to what was it? Was it Joseph Gordon-Levitt? No. Yes. Shit. And you know, they go back and they're in the field and they have to, each person has to shoot the next one. I was going to say, well done, because I was about to, you read my mind, sir. I was about to, thank you. I was about to say, Emily Blunt, in fact, other than finding her utterly gorgeous, the Adjustment Bureau with Damon, obviously A Quiet Place 1 and 2 with her real life husband John Krasinski. I do like John Krasinski, although I'm insanely jealous that he's obviously married to Blunt, our girl, and like you say that Tomorrow Never Die, with Tom Cruise. Quiet Place is epic, isn't it? And I just watched the second one, A Quiet Place 2. And I won't, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it for you, but that's again, the best films are not where they're crammed. She is wonderful, isn't she? She is. No, you're absolutely right, dude. Emily Blunt, not only, you know, I mean, come on, she's beautiful to look at, but she's not over the top beautiful. She's not obscenely, unrealistically beautiful. She's just a naturally beautiful looking woman with very, very impressive acting chops. I remember watching her, I was mesmerised by her. She did some contemporary dance, and it really is her doing it in Adjustment Bureau, to a wonderful song I like by Hooverphonic. Anyways, it's beautiful. Yes, well done. 12 Monkeys with Willis and Pitt, of course. That's Terry Gilliam film, isn't it? Yes, I'm sure it is. Where we see it again. You've got peak Pitt there with Willis. I think the time travel genre is so hard to get right, and you know, you're coming out with some absolute corkers. You know, we know how easily interruptible and how flawed the loop is. I can't remember the actress in that, but she's beautiful. Which one was that? Damn it, what did we just say? Bugger. It's gone. But yeah, I mean the thing 12 Monkeys. Oh yeah, who actually hey Google, what is the cast of 12 Monkeys?
Madeline Stowe, Brad Pitt, Bruce Willis.
Madeline Stowe, of course, a young Madeline. Now, I won't go on a tangent too much, but I tracked down the other day a stunning film from the early 90s with Anthony Quinn, Kevin Costner and Madeline Stowe. It's a heartbreaking film. It's just called Revenge. We're talking Pete Kevin Costner. It's hard to get. I actually found someone kindly downloaded the entire thing onto YouTube. Now and again, you can just literally go onto YouTube. Oh, dude, you love it. You'd love it. Hey Google, revenge film, Kevin Costner.
Revenge is a 1990 film directed by Tony Scott, starring Madeleine Stowe, Kevin Costner, and Anthony Quinn.
The late great Tony Scott, of course, so sad. Brother of Ridley. Tony Scott did a wonderful job in the 90s because a little bit like watching a Michael Bay film, you know, you can just look at the orange hue. Yeah, exactly, my friend. You can just look at the orange hue of that filter. Oh God, this bloody tooth. I've got to get over myself. Yeah, I'm lisping. End of the month, I'll get this thing redone. But yeah, a Tony Scott film. Yeah, I was going to say True Romance, of course, penned by Quentin. But you know that lovely. I mean, God, I'm just thinking that the Walken Hopper scene. You know, he plays Christian Slater's dad, and that wonderful monologue by Walken. You know, so your mother, Sicilian, she got raped by. And he's just like, okay, and he just starts to laugh as he loads the gun. I mean, what's it? He's like, can I have one of those cigarettes? You know, it's a brilliant scene. I think it was written by Tarantino. I know Roger Avery writing credits. It's a great scene, isn't it? You've got me lit up now thinking that. But Roger Avery was a writing partner of Tarantino. There's some great films out there like Killing Zoe, set in Paris with Eric Stoltz, etc. And Spandau Ballet's Martin Kemp, or one of the Kemp brothers. But great film, just a little bit like, oh God, Something of Nature, the Rules of Nature. There's another Roger Avery film, because you see, there's a something happened in the 90s between screenwriting credits, you know, people who wrote very, very good drafts, very good screenplays, and then of course who cinematically got the credit for it. You know, I do think of early writings with True Romance, Killing Zoe, damn it. See, if we're talking beautiful actresses, I think it's Jessica Biel with Shannon Sossamon, both absolutely achingly beautiful. I think it's called Rules of Attraction. Sorry, not Rules of Nature. Rules of Attraction. Hey Google, Rules of Attraction film.
The Rules of Attraction is a 2003 film directed by Roger Avery, starring Ian Somerhalder, Shannon Sossamon, and James Van Der Beek.
James Van Der Beek, of course. There you go, Roger Avery film. 2002-3. You got a young Jessica Biel there, Shannon Sossamon. Unbelievably good. See, anyway, look, I'm going to try, yeah. 2003, Roger Avery, music by Tom and Andy, yes. Great film. So look, with the time travel thing, I'm going to try and stick on topic before I do a Justin sabotage the stream. It's so hard to, I mean, looking back by comparison, let's take the early Terminator. God, how good was Michael Biehn in that? You know, I recently watched Salvation 2009 with Christian Bale, and of course the late Anton Yelchin. Yelchin, you know, sadly died, didn't he? Terribly sad. But yeah, the simpler the better, and we all know the creases in the loop. We all know that the minute the audience has a yeah but moment, you know, the minute in terms of, you know, the chronological storytelling, and I must revisit Predestination. I'm glad you mentioned that, because it's a bloody good film, and I know, because it's dark, isn't it? It's even shot in a dark way. There's a lot of nuance in that film, like it's got its own idiosyncrasies. I remember it being a certain way, a certain feel to it. You know, this time travel business, would you, if you could? I mean, the answer for most of us is unequivocally yes. I mean, I know I would, because there's probably, if I'm brutally honest, half a dozen moments in my life that are so significant that yes, I desperately wish I could have taken a different, well, you know, we've all done it. Everyone lives with a degree of regret. I think it's a rare person that lives with zero regrets. And it becomes cliched when you say, oh, I only regret the things I didn't do. You know, it's a bit of a, I don't know. Anyway, there's certain decisions I made in my life that I absolutely do regret. And of course, the idea of time travel, this is where we could enter the dream state and argue that, you know, it's often quite annoying when you do wake up and you have to face the reality of reality, because you could be having a timeline altering dream, couldn't you? And we've all done those. I actually had one this week, you know, where I was for a good 15 minutes once I'd woke, and I was gutted. I was genuinely gutted and frankly pissed off. That, you know, I do what any, you know, sort of bloke does. You know, you wake up and you go for a wee, you know, splash your face, whatever. You know, my alarm goes each day at 5, and I take my first dose of meds. And recently I've been getting back to sleep again. But point being, you wake up and you have that moment of accepting reality, and you think, oh bugger, you know, I was in a really good place. And I'm infinitely curious, and of course none of us will know until the time comes when we basically cease to live. I heard that the other day from a kid. I can't think what it was I was watching, but I was watching something where, actually, I'll tell you what it was. It was, excuse my sniffing. Oh, I'm coming down with something. Oh no. So you can't even say it these days, can you? You can't even say, well, perhaps I'm starting a cold, perhaps I'm run down, perhaps it's the flu. You know, I mean, it was only a year and a half ago where, in a conversation, observationally, you could say, yeah, I'm feeling a bit rough, mate, I'm feeling a bit run down, look, I'm a bit sniffly. You know, no one batted an eyelid nowadays. Oh my God, that means you're dying of COVID. You know, it's a terrible shame, and I won't go down that bloody rabbit hole, but I think it's a terrible shame what COVID, you know, what I call weaponised and politicised. It's become a terrible team sport. Anyway, but I'm as a single bloke living alone, you know, watching what is happening to the world now, and of course now the COVID vaccine mandates proposed by Biden. I think this will be our undoing. Anyway, I suppose that's probably why subconsciously I'm doing tonight's stream about time travel, and why I've been looking at time travel, because the notion being, could you, you know, and if I could, if you could, if anyone could, you'd pretty much, you know, a bit Jules Verne, isn't it? You could just be the first person to do it. And I suppose we all do our own time travelling in sleep, once you're in good REM sleep, and short of actually, I'm now thinking Tomorrow Never Dies. Repeat that, you know, with Emily Blunt and Tom Cruise, is damn good. There are probably a good half a dozen, if not more, films that certainly feel they got it right, because it would be a Groundhog Day. I suppose there's one thing in fact there's one commonality, there's one thing that all these films that were good about time travel is the rinse and repeat, because you'd have to. I mean, none of us would go, oh yes, I went back with one chance, one metaphorical roll of the dice, and I got it all right. No, you would have to go again, and that was one aspect. Was it Doug Liman that did it? Hey Google, Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt, Tomorrow Never Dies.
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
Edge of Tomorrow. Why do I call it Tomorrow Never Dies? Why am I calling it? I'm getting mixed up. Hey Google, Edge of Tomorrow movie, Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt.
Edge of Tomorrow is a 2014 film directed by Doug Liman, starring Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt, and Bill Paxton.
Well done, Justin. Oh, the late Bill Paxton. Now, 2 years later, Bill Paxton, of course, in Aliens, wasn't he? Predator 2 as well. God, Bill Paxton. Chet in Weird Science. Chet. The wonderful Bill Paxton. They're the talent. Twister, so many films. Bill, of course, Near Dark. Brilliant vampire. If you want to see a great 80s film with Adrian Pastar, Lance Henriksen, Bill Paxton, Jay Wright. I think it's done by Catherine Bigelow, of course, Point Break. She did Near Dark. In fact, let me try. Hey Google, Near Dark, vampire movie.
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
Yeah, okay. Hey Google, 1986, Catherine Bigelow, Near Dark movie.
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
There it is. Okay, cool. Right, what have we got on Googs? Is it 1986? 1987, sorry, IMDb. Catherine Bigelow recruited 3 of the support players from her then husbands. Of course, Justin. Catherine Bigelow is married to James Cameron. There you go. So now this is interesting. I'd forgotten this. Her then husband, Jim Cameron, she recruited 3 support players from Aliens, of course, directed by her husband James. Bill Paxton, Lance Henriksen. Think about the bishop. And Jeanette. Come on. Oh, it's going funny. Oh, well. What was her name? What a movie. What a movie. Jeanette Goldstein, yes, of course. Great film. Let's think about, hey Google, what is the best time travel film?
Movies frequently mentioned on the web include Looper, 12 Monkeys, Primer, and others.
Dude, the fact that we got Looper and 12 Monkeys between us, what was Primer 2004? That's interesting.
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
Independent American psychological science fiction film about the accidental discovery of time travel. Interesting. The film was written, directed, and produced. Oh, good lord. That's a lot of work for one bloke. The film was written, directed, produced, edited. Wow. Written, directed, produced, edited and scored by Shane Carruth. That's amazing. You often hear about a passion project, being written and directed and perhaps produced as well, by a person, but to edit and to score, good lord. 2004 Sundance Film Festival. I've not seen that. Excuse me. Short and sweet, 77 minutes. Interesting. Now. Oh wow. Oh my gosh, there's an actual. Look at this. The operation of time travel in Primer. Let me share this with you. There's an actual. Can you see that? Not very good actually. I've got the light I'm using over there bounces back, but this guy went to the trouble of putting. Right, the original person on undisturbed timeline decides to time travel. He or she activates a delayed switch and leaves the area to avoid encountering his double. Well, this is very, very Goldblum fly teleportation, isn't it? The machine starts and the double exits. Original waits out 6 hours of subjective time travel as he travels into the past, becoming his... Wow, now this is double doppelganger shit. This is... God, I'm now thinking Christian Bale, Michael Caine, David Bowie, our British Gollum, Andy... Oh gosh, I'm blanking on his name. Who played Gollum? Shit, what's the film? Chris Nolan movie. Prestige, The Prestige. I'm thinking Prestige. Holy shit. The machine starts and the double exits. Original prepares for entry into the box, checking stock prices. Avoids causative action. The time. Original prepares for entry into the box. Original enters the box, joining the looped time stream inside. The original waits out 6 hours. So you have to wait out 6 hours of subjective time as he travels into the past, becoming his double. The double, therefore, has 6 hours of casual influence on both his new timeline and his original timeline. Why am I shouting into the microphone? Oh bugger, where's it gone? Oh, that's very annoying. That's just decided to go. Hey Google, Primer movie.
Primer is a 2005 film directed by Shane Carruth, starring Shane Carruth, Anand Upadhyaya, and Casey Gooden.
Oh, he's even in it. Starring, directing, producing, writing, editing, and stuff. I need to watch Primer. That's insane. Seriously, hang on a minute. This is, I've actually heard of it, but I mean, for the fact that one chap has dedicated all that to it is absurd. Wow. I'm just blown away. I'm blown away. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and get stream going on Twitch as well. Hold on. Time travelers. Let's try this. Just gonna give this a go. Hang on a minute. I'm going to cover that camera. Hold on. Sorry about that, YouTube. Stand by. Do this every night, don't I? Worst smile ever. Good evening, Twitch. It's episode 411 of TrueHouse, time travel tonight. Try that angle there. Hold on, I'm going to cover it. It's not too bad. Okay, we're going to see if the camera stays. The art of the camera staying. Anyway, I hope you're good. Hope you're good over there on Twitch. My beauties. Hope that stays in place. He says confidently. leave it. Just try and bend that down a bit then. That might work. There's full screen. There's full screen. That's better. That's better. That's better. It's got literally one phone like that and one phone like that. iPhone's here and that one's. Anyway, this is what it is. Right, so look, I'm talking about time travel. Spin it around a little bit, Justin. Oh, don't realise how bendy it is. Cool. Yeah, look, what are your thoughts on time travel? Every movie, been discussing it with a friend of mine over here on YouTube, every sort of popular premise is flawed, and we, the audience, when watching a time travel movie, we get immensely frustrated because it's only, with the best will in the world and a very good premise, often quite sort of thought through. It doesn't take too long before the film descends into chaos, and there is a loop theme. It's no coincidence that some of these films have got the word loop or looper in the title. So yeah, it just makes me think about, are we looking at a body double, doppelganger type thing? Would you create literally a second you? How much of this would be the physical, sort of cellular body? Are you talking about the disruption, therefore, at a cellular level, i.e., look at the teleportation scene of Jeff Goldblum in the iconic David Cronenberg film The Fly, where he goes from one, gridded pod to the other, with a Gina Davis, and of course, splat goes the monkey. I mentioned earlier in the beginning of this stream my memories of having a day off school when I was 13, so that's circa 85. I blagged a day off school and my mother kindly went to the local video store, pre-Blockbuster of course, and it was called Flicks. The traditional name for going to the movies was the Flicks, the Picture House, the Flicks. And our local video library was called Flicks. And I remember mum coming home with, of course, these book-sized VHS tapes in the video store. Just for those of you that are old enough to remember, VHS rented tapes would invariably come in the video store's best effort, mass-produced, often burgundy or navy, gilt-edged folding popping cases to look like a book. So if you can think of a leather-bound book in the burgundy and the navy blue with that kind of like gold leaf going around the perimeter, that's often how, I shit you not, how rented VHS tapes were presented. And this, was part of the process of knowing that and on the side would be written the film titles. They wouldn't rent it to you in the actual, distributor's box. It wouldn't be, Top Gun's in the Top Gun box. It would be the video store's own box. Very generic. Just add it to the experience. So look, tonight's subject, I've been going for 39 minutes on YouTube, so I'm just going to do a little bit here on Twitch and just see how it goes. I mean, at the moment, my audience, I've got an infinitesimally small audience, but I don't care. This is practice for me. It's cathartic for me. I'm still learning the dark arts of live streaming and even my own microphone use. I'm still battling each day with my confidence. I find this really hard to do. Hence you'll notice that I barely, if at all, ever look at the camera. I'm often looking into space through and behind and beyond the cameras, past the target, so I'm not really making much sort of visual connection and doing the fourth wall break by speaking to you, the audience, and trying to do all this stuff and thinking, hang on, where's the front facing camera? Well, it's there, so I'm going to start addressing this top end of the phone and start talking. You know what I mean? I just find that really creepy. So, without further ado, I'm going to continue with the time travel thing. We've had Age of Tomorrow with Emily Blunt, Tom Cruise. We've had Predestination with Ethan Hawke, Looper, Bruce Willis. We've talked about Back to the Future, time travel, you know, big budget time travel, obviously Back to the Future, Terminator franchise, etc., etc. From H.G. Wells to Jules Verne, on and on, the idea of time travel has been immortalised. I know Hitler wanted to, with the Thule Society, Thule. There's so many religions that have given credence to time travel and have written about it or done artwork. And I recently saw some literally like a literal astronaut. I think it might have been in, I don't know, Mexico or Cuba, I don't know, somewhere, I can't think where. But it was clearly attached via umbilical cord, like a wire hose, as you would do if you had an astronaut in the pumped up, you know, spacesuit with that obligatory sort of gravity, you know, Sandra Bullock, George Clooney-esque umbilical cord attaching you to the spacecraft / station. It's a funny subject, and I know we can go headlong into the premise of, you know, would you, should you, could you. I know there's been certainly 4, if not 6, really significant aspects of my life that I ideally wish I could go back and change. Excuse me. Decisions that at the time I battled with. Some of the, you know, 1 or 2 of the worst incidents that took place in my life, I battled with going to said location where awful thing was unbeknown to me about to happen. To give you an idea of how strong time travel decisions, regrets, knee jerks, wisdom, you know, well, it just to give you an idea of how much it can weigh on you, I've for a long time I've struggled. I'm tired, and B, I'm trying to get my head around it. I've struggled with the notion that an injury befell me. An injury came to me during a violent altercation when I was doing some security work, and had I not chosen a particular path in my lifestyle, in the bodybuilding world that I once inhabited, you know, a world I was very much once a part of. This is why I mentioned the significance of time travel, and why many of us, myself included, would go back if we could. That is to say that I royally came unstuck one night, you know, one night back, and that night is the 1st of April 2007. I remember it so viscerally, so vividly, so clearly, painfully. 1st of April 2007, some 14 years ago. There you go. God. Tired, but look, just even saying it. 1st of April 2007, I drove to a destination in a part of England not far from where I was living. It was a drive, it was to earn money, because the money I had a tab with someone. For those of you that have any time in bodybuilding and the drug side of bodybuilding will know that it was commonplace for bodybuilders like me to have tabs with people, and I had a tab, and therefore I wanted to clear the tab before, you know, I wanted to clear my tab before I could have any more on my tab, and did the work to get the tab cleared, did the work, did the security job. It was a rough place, a rough area of England. Had a fight, an altercation broke out. I wasn't at my best, I was far from my best. I got knocked out on my feet. I've never lied about this, and as a result of that my leg snapped in half, an incredibly severe injury, and I almost lost my leg. It severed all 4 ligaments. So yeah, as you can see, I'm getting tired now. This is what happens. 47 minutes into it. Look, the first 35 to 40 minutes of this, I will not continue when I'm not off on camera. When I start to do this on camera, it's time to go. The way my health is these days, although I've lost 5 stone, I know it's hard to believe, I've still got lots to go, but tiredness arrives in the evenings in an acute fashion, as you've just seen. I'll be yappity yap, and then one of those. So it's not the prettiest transition to landing a plane to finish a stream, but tiredness has arrived. So I'm gonna politely bugger off. At least the cameras are a bit better tonight. They're staying in place. I'm inclined to keep that. Hold on. Sorry guys. There. Takes me many days to get these cameras to the point where I'm happy. But I think I am. That's okay. Okay, I'm cool with that. Got plenty of microphone room. Does that. Does that. Spins around. Spins around. Comes up. Goes down. It's cool. Cool with it now. Okay. Alright guys, look, I go. I hope you enjoyed tonight. Please come back and listen to the beginning again, because I hope it's improving. All I'm trying to do, no matter how small it is, I'm trying to improve. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to improve. Okay, I'm trying to improve my knowledge, and I admit there's shit that scares me. I admit there's stuff that I don't know what I'm doing. I admit there's stuff. Case in point, you know, Yeah, I'm just trying. I'm trying. Okay, so look, time travel. It's a messy one. I'm going to go and look at Predestination. I might watch that tonight. In fact, thank you to my friend at Ditton Works. You're a star. I like you, buddy. You're a cool dude. Okay, look, I'm going to go. I might do some at the weekend. I've not done any streaming at the weekend for many weeks, but this has been episode 411. Yeah. All right. I'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Good night. All the best. I'll be back. Same time, same face and place. Alrighty. Cheers. See you soon.